Hey, it's Dr. Brooke, and in the next 10 minutes, we're going to go over the following things. This year, we didn't have any large purchases, but I divided most of our purchases here into variable expenses and fixed-ish expenses. Another goal was to develop and disseminate an educational toolkit for other providers, and we have done this. It is available for free on our website, and I have talked about it at various different conferences and also shared it with a few Idaho providers. Third goal that we had was to educate families and caregivers. Cami created a CNA flip book that is laminated, and the caregivers now have on their medication carts, and I have seen them reference it. It made me really incredibly happy to see that. Bailey did an in-service in both facilities, which I recorded when she went to DeSano Place. And here's a link if you'd like to watch her in-service. It's not yet edited, by the way, and I do plan to edit it at some point, just have not had the time to do that yet. I did a presentation for the Idaho Family and Caregiver Conference that was mostly focused on oral hygiene and how to be successful with that. Cami and Bailey together made 11 tips in 10 minutes for oral care, and then we made a video specifically for our families about the services that we offer and why we offer them. And all of those videos are available for you to watch, and I'll show you a few snippets of each video right now.
It's a cool toothbrush. Some of the things that you can see on here, I hope you can see my pointer. If you can see my pointer, you can see that this has two things that attach to the base. That's key for the success in this toothbrush. When you look at full arch toothbrushes, you want two things to attach to the base. It goes like this. That actually brushes back and forth. It's not just sitting there going. Brrr.
So we're going to talk about denture cleaning. So you just put a small amount of dish soap or hand soap and then warm water. So you want to have warm water. And you make sure you have a towel at the base, because if you drop this, you don't want it to break, and so the towel will give it a cushion.
Sometimes these providers provide hands-on help. There are some residents that need a lot of hands-on help. Sometimes all the resident needs is some checking, coaching, and helping get to the harder to reach areas.
I like to think of the tongue as like a carpet. It builds up all that bacteria and food you're eating, so that's why brushing your tongue is really important, because that's one of the #1 contributors to bad breath.
Our fourth goal was to implement patient-specific prevention and hygiene services utilizing teledentistry. You can see on the left here, these are the kits that we made patient-specific so that it would have the things that that particular resident would need. You can see here on the top where we have our Your Special Smiles Oral Hygiene Ability Spectrum sheets, and that's where people will write specific things about these residents, things they like, things they don't like, things that are successful in their oral hygiene. And we've color-coded that so that each patient has a different category, and those needs are documented differently according to what their needs are. You can see the picture on the bottom. That's an example of our Teledent program and how we can use Teledent for the students or the hygienists to communicate with me when I am not present. And then you can see on the right, these are our assisted oral hygiene providers this year with some of our residents. As far as site visits go, anyone's always welcome to come out and see what we do. We have total open doors, but we're not there every day, so please let us know so that we can plan for your visit and make sure you have a good visit. As far as the PAC meeting goes, we're never going to be able to be present on a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Those are our clinical times, and we all have different various clinical jobs. But Dr. Samia has agreed that if it is Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday is selected for the PAC meeting, that she will represent us, and I will make a video like the one you are watching today, because it is a Monday. Our team members are always invited but never obligated, so you may see some of us pop in and out on these PAC meetings, but we're popping in and out because we are at our other jobs at this time. And then check-in calls, those are incredibly useful, and thank you so much to our grant administrators for keeping me on track. Those meetings are of incredible value, and I have so many things going on in so many different directions that these meetings truly do help me stay on track. Goal number 8 was to monitor the quality, impact, and effectiveness of our services. We use these sheets called SMR sheets and these sheets called PDSA work cycle sheets. And we go through those things with our grant administrators just to show what we're doing and if there are any issues with those things, and they discuss those with us at those monthly meetings. Our ninth goal was to develop a sustainability plan. And currently, our sustainability plan is that every time I give talks and I get paid a speaker honorarium, I take that speaker honorarium and put it in a reserve account so that when we run low or when we run out of funding, we can dip into that account to continue the program and make it be able to function as we search for more funding. Another thing with sustainability we're looking to do is we're looking to expand parts of our program into federally qualified health centers and other entities in the state of Idaho. And so if you are an entity that is interested in working with us and taking parts of our program or all of our program and putting it into your entity, please let me know. We already have some initial conversations with some other groups, and we're trying to get to see what parts of our program are transferable and what parts of our program do we want to wait for a little bit with. So far, we're seeing that the portable hygiene program with the teledent communication with the dentist is one of our most transferable aspects of this program. So please let me know if you have any interest. The next bullet on that outline was for me to address what dental HIPSAs have been served during this project, and we are serving 2 long-term care facilities in Jerome, Idaho. Jerome, Idaho is located in Jerome County, and Jerome County is a population group HIPSA. So you can see on this chart here that we are a population group HIPSA. The population of Jerome County, you can go ahead and see that population as well as the population of Jerome City. And each facility has the capacity to house about 40 residents. And so you can see this is the pool by which that we are pulling from, and then the next slide will show you the residents that we do serve. So how many specific people are we serving? How many interactions are we having with these folks? We are having our students go out once a week for the assisted oral hygiene, and they're helping them brush and floss. And so you can see these residents and see how many weeks are in a year, and you can see about how many interactions they're having with that. The Truth Brush tracking system is actually tracking these residents even when we're not there. So that's tracking when not only our students, but also the CNAs are doing the toothbrushing. And so that helps us have a bigger picture as to what's going on. The bacterial testing, when we're looking at that, I'm thinking that's going to be just a whole nother dimension of remote patient monitoring and ways that we're able to serve these patients without me being physically on site. So I think this is going to be one of the next dimensions of teledentistry, but it's in its infancy, and so I don't quite know yet. We've only done a couple of rounds, and we only have the results for one round. So stay tuned, and we'll have a lot more on that coming forward. We've been going out and doing our professional cleanings with our hygienists, and you can see the numbers there as to how many folks have gotten the professional services on site with our hygienists, and they take x-rays, photos, and videos for me to be able to watch at a later date. We also have had some patients that have needed to be referred up for follow-up care. So that means they had an active need that I really wanted them to get taken care of at the dental office. And then, of course, there's always a few emergency consults throughout the year where something happens either to a resident that we're participating with, or I even sometimes see residents that are not part of our program if the facility is concerned because we have an excellent relationship. But you can see these are the actual numbers of residents served. That goes down throughout the year because we're in long-term care facilities and sometimes our patients pass on. But then we do have periods of enrollment where we can sign up more residents. Currently, we're using teledentistry in 2 different ways. We're using the toothbrush tracking system with remote patient monitoring so that we can see how often the toothbrush is being used, whether we are there or we are not there. And then we're also using the teledent system so that if there's something that happens and they want to send me a picture or a video, then the long-term care facility is able to communicate with me in that way. And then we also use it with our hygiene. When we go out and we do our cleanings, we do videos, photos, and radiographs so that I can do some screenings whether I'm on site or not. An incredibly exciting frontier that we're exploring currently is salivary microbial profile testing. And what it's doing is it's looking at bacteria, viruses, and funguses in the mouth. And so as we're looking at this microbiome in a patient-specific manner, we may be able to target different treatments and different recommendations to these patients based on their salivary makeup. And we are just in the infancy with this. We don't know how well it is working for us. We've only done 1 test. We're getting our 2nd test back. And we're looking throughout the next year to really evaluate this and see how it can be utilized as one of the newest areas in teledentistry. It's very, very exciting. We're also looking to implement our program, as we mentioned before, in some federally qualified health centers. And we want to produce a video with oral care and palliative care because there's a lot of fundamental misunderstandings about what is needed at end-of-life care with oral care, and we want to help clear that up in the next year. That we have many people that help make this happen and so many people outside of our team that are vital to our success. Our current core team is Alexis, Brooklyn, and Kyla, our CSI students, Carolina, our CNA and dental assistant, hygienists Terry, Cami, and Bailey, and then of course myself, the dentist. And I'd like to conclude with thanking you guys for your interest in this presentation, and thank you to our grant administrators for helping us do everything that we need to do to be in compliance with the grant. And thank you for selecting us. I know sometimes it's hard to work with me. I'm all over the place and I'm always doing something different. But I feel like the things that we're doing right now and all of these different things are going to incredibly impact the oral health of residents in long-term care facilities in the future. And for those of us who are going to be residents of long-term care facilities in the future, such as myself, that's really, really exciting.